Do you have a fear of losing your family if your marriage ends? Hey there, I'm Sharon Pope. I help women who are struggling in disconnected marriages get the confidence and clarity they need to either fix the struggles inside their marriage or move forward without regret. If you like what you hear, I hope you'll subscribe. Fear that you're going to lose your family if your marriage ends? This makes complete sense. I want to share with you a story of a client of mine. Now, she and her husband had been married for 20 years and they had two boys, 15 and 19. And the marriage hadn't been healthy from the start. They argued all the time. They never had sex unless they'd both been drinking. And they hurt each other over the years. She hurt him by trying to control him, and he hurt her by rejecting her and showing her an awful lot of anger. Now, they'd been separated for 6 months, and he genuinely wanted to keep trying to make the relationship work, but she wasn't so sure that she wanted to. He had made a lot of changes in his life, but the emotional maturity still kept cropping up in their relationship. And she had made lots of changes in her life as well during that 6 months that they'd been separated. But the attraction for him still hadn't magically returned. So one of the things that when I talked to her about whether or not she felt like the marriage was coming to an end, she got real tearful. And I wondered about that. And so we dove into it a little bit. And what she discovered is that the emotion that was coming from that thought was all around, if I end this marriage, I lose my family. And that terrified her. It brought up a lot of emotion. And it makes sense, right? Because she had a very strict definition, like most of us do, of this is what family looks like, right? A dad, a mom, there are kids, and that's a family. We could go off on a whole tangent about dad and mom. We can do that because this definition of family we need to rethink. It's a little too closed in. But I invited her to go deeper with the thought of what family means and start to expand her mind about what family could look like. And so she said, well, to her, family meant love. Okay. I said, do you love him? She said, yeah, I do. I'm not sure I want to spend the rest of my life with him, but I do have love for him. I do genuinely care about him. And she said, family meant time together. And I said, okay, well, why couldn't you spend time together? What are some times that you know that you could spend together? And she said, well, our kids' baseball games, parent-teacher conferences. She said, I would even be open to spending the holidays together. Okay. And she said family meant being parents to their two precious children. And I was like, you know what, darling, mom is always going to be mom to those boys. Dad is always going to be dad. And there's nothing and no one that can change that. So the nature of the way that we think about family, if you change the definition of it, well, now it doesn't cause as much suffering for her as she thinks about what the right decision is for her life and her marriage. That reframe alone stopped her suffering and helped her get more clear about what the right decision was for her. You see, when we detach from the preconceived notions or the preconceived definitions in the very small box, now we can open our minds to the reality that if she chooses to leave her marriage, what's happening is that she and her now husband are going to renegotiate the nature of their relationship together. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're not a family. It most certainly doesn't mean that mom isn't mom or that dad isn't dad. It means that the two of them, their relationship is going to change. But we all choose family, people who we're close enough to that we consider them family, even though we're not blood related, even though we haven't married them, right? And this is no different. So If you have had that same sort of fear, like, oh my gosh, I couldn't possibly do that, I'd lose my family, I want you to dig deeper into that and expand your mind around what this hard and fast definition is that you're carrying around family. All right? If you'd like to explore whether or not there is a fit for you and I to work together, you can go to clarityformymarriage.com. If you like what you heard, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be notified every time we post a new video, at the end of this video, there will be an icon in the upper left corner. Click it and we will give you a notification. All right, until next time, take really good care.